What's up, guys? It's Chris Eaton over at Accepted Resignation. Normally, when I do these things, I tend to script everything out and I lay it out really well, and I try to do my best to stick to that script. But this one's going to be a little bit different, and I'm not going to do that. I was on the phone with a friend of mine the other day singing the praises of the DJI Pocket 3 and kind of convinced him that he should get one. That was until he told me the price. The price had increased from $650 for the creator kit, which is what I got here, to almost $1,000. And that kit just included the DJI Mic 2. That's a 40 or 50% increase. Now, I don't know if it's because of the tariffs or because of inflation, or it could be just because of supply and demand. But that price increase made me go back and look at some of my other gear and see if the price increased for those as well. The Sony ZV-E10, which I'm shooting this video on currently, increased from $600 with the kit lens to $825. That's like a 25% increase. My Sony A6400 that I basically just use now for a webcam, for my Zoom calls, and for some streaming, increased from $700 from the time when I bought it with the kit lens to $940 without the kit lens. That's a 25% increase on that one. These are all cameras that I own, and all of them are 3 to 5 years old, and the prices are actually going up. Now, there's two ways to look at this, right? Maybe three. One way to look at it is that all of the gear that I bought a couple of years ago to create YouTube videos has now increased in price. So my gear is actually more valuable today than the day that I bought it. The other way to look at it is that now, if I need to replace anything or repair anything, it's now going to cost me 25 to 40% more money to do that. I think the more important thing is that now, potentially anyone who wants to become a creator on YouTube, their job just got 25 to 40% harder. Here's the deal. Does this make buying gear for new creators more difficult? Of course it does. Does it mean you may have to save up for a few more months in order to get those cinematic shots that every under 30 influencer with a nose ring tells you is necessary? Yeah, it does. But at the end of the day, the gear doesn't make the creativity. Can it add to it? Yeah, possibly. But I'm willing to bet that if you thought that you had a good idea before you went out and bought the latest and greatest camera equipment, I'm betting that it's still a good idea when you don't have the latest and greatest camera equipment. There's still a bunch of ways that you can make creative videos for YouTube without spending an arm and a leg. I used to be a mid-level gear guy, right? I just thought that I had to go out and at least get name brand equipment for everything, and that if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to do what I want to do. I don't think that way anymore. Like I said before, I shoot all my videos on a Sony ZV-E10, which is a 4-year-old camera, and it still works just as good as the day that I bought it. I have a Sony A6400 over there that I use for my webcam and streaming. 5-year-old camera. The only new piece of gear, or new to me, that I bought within the last year is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And that's still a 3-year-old camera. And it still works. And it's actually still pretty awesome. I love shooting on that thing. All the cameras here shoot in 4K, which is way more than enough for YouTube. I have a bunch of action cams on that shelf right back there. DJI action cams, GoPro Heroes, they all shoot in 4K, and they're a couple of years old. My phone shoots in 4K. What I'm trying to say is that you probably have something right now that could shoot video good enough for YouTube without spending these ridiculous prices that are out there. I'm really a firm believer that the best camera to use is the camera that you have on you. And if you just have to buy new gear, I know that feeling, look on the used market, all right? There's sites like Adorama and B&H Photo that have great deals on used equipment. I would avoid Facebook Marketplace though. Also, to get a little bit better a deal on price, try buying the version before the latest and greatest. I guarantee you it could still do everything that you need it to do for YouTube. The DJI Pocket 2 is still a great camera, okay? The GoPro Hero 11 that I have back there on that shelf is still a great camera, and I still use it to shoot B-roll from time to time. Everything doesn't have to be brand new in order to get the job done. I haven't seen the same increase in accessories as cameras, so you could still go on sites like Small Rig and Newer and Ulanzi and buy some amazing accessories for the camera that you do have, and you could get them at great deals, okay? You could buy mics, you could buy light boxes. Hell, you could still go on Amazon and get a softbox for $40. That's great. I have a $40 softbox right over there in the other room. The thing is, even with these crazy price hikes, the barrier for entry on YouTube for creators could still be as low as under $200 just to get started. Just make sure that you put what money you do have into audio. Okay, you definitely need a good mic. YouTube videos could get away with choppy edits and bad camera angles, but if you sound like garbage, odds are the person isn't even going to stick around to watch. Prices tend to always go down on tech gear, but we just went through something 5 years ago where all the prices went up and we were promised that they would go down when that thing was over with, but they stayed the same. Here's to hoping that that doesn't happen again and this doesn't become the new normal. Because trust me, guys, I like buying new gear as much as you do. Until next time, guys, stay loud, give more than you take, and go out and make something.